Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the conference call of Secure Cloud Technologies Limited, formerly known as 8K Miles Software Services Limited. They're announcing their Q1 FY22 results. This call is hosted by Kiran Advisors. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. This conference call would be for a duration of 60 minutes only. Should you need any assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vatsupal Shah. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Shah.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome Mr. Suresh Venkatachari, CEO of Secure Cloud Technologies Limited, Mr. Ravichandran S., Full-Time Director, and Mr. Tyagarajan, CFO of the company. Mr. Suresh, over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone on the call. The pandemic has been once-in-a-generation health crisis. As we begin to move on the second wave, our thoughts and prayers are with everyone who suffered the effects of COVID. In a world still coming to terms with the aftermath of the pandemic and witnessing the second and third waves in different countries, the agility and responsiveness shown by people and the business has been stunning and a bright ray of hope. We look ahead with optimism, aided by the accelerated adoption of technology and spirit of innovation.
I'm sorry, the line for Mr. Suresh has got disconnected. Request you to please stay connected while we reconnect him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Sorry for the disruption in the connection. Moving on to the Q1 performance, we witnessed continuous strength in demand for core cloud transformation services across all segments. However, the second wave disrupted few initiatives and delayed booking closures. I would like to highlight that our strategy to grow recurring revenue and continued investment in our SaaS platforms will build a sustainable growth engine and help our customers migrate seamlessly into the cloud. Our deal pipeline continued to grow and conversion remained healthy in Q1. We won 31 new deals across all our businesses, out of which 7 were new logos, 4 new logos from healthcare and life sciences, and 3 new logos from other verticals from Secure Cloud India. On the NASDAQ listing, as I mentioned in the last call, we have filed our confidential S1 and waiting for SEC comments. We will keep our investors and other stakeholders updated on the progress on this as we move forward. With that, let me thank you and pass it on to Ravi for his update. Ravi?
Thank you, Suresh, and good afternoon to all of you on the call. This quarter has been particularly encouraging for more than one reason. To begin with, we saw addition of 7 new customers, as Suresh had mentioned, 4 in healthcare and 3 in other industry verticals. And it has been an exciting quarter because of some of the positive things that we were able to accomplish in this quarter. We acquired customers in logistics, telco, and construction industry, so which is something which we are quite happy about because this kind of expands our footprint in other industries as well. And we have expanded the customer base as well in other geographies, like one of the customers that we acquired is in Italy and the other in Australia. So we see more geographical expansion as we have signed up partners now to sell into Dubai and Japan. And as we speak, we started seeing some strong traction in the UK and the India market as well, and for our services, and hopefully by the next quarter we'll be able to positive news on those things. The telco business has a potential to grow in other parts of the geography, including US. And they have particularly large presence in the US, this telco company from Italy that we just signed up. And they also have a huge presence in India. And between them, we believe that there is going to be a strong opportunity. And again, I'm happy to say that as we speak, I just got another request from them to participate in another opportunity in Europe. So things are looking encouraging in that front. The logistic customer is particularly happy with our ability to address their security issues and signed up for additional services for multiple years, which is again a good thing from our long-term sustainable revenue perspective. One of the new customers in healthcare signed a multi-year contract to provide implementation and support services of their EHR system. The other new customer that we acquired in healthcare is very happy with the engagement so far and is already discussing multi-year contract for our DRAS systems, our offerings, which is basic recovery as a service. And we see more and more of such requests coming our way, and we believe that will enhance our recurring revenue portfolio. The three of our customers from the past have returned to us, and because of their positive engagement with our teams and our strong relationship and reputation that we have built over the years, and our depth of expertise shown and demonstrated, and exceptional quality of service. Some of our existing healthcare customers have signed multi-year contract for our DRAS as offering and managed services. All the new customers who signed up with us have consistently said that the reasons they chose us as their partners are established expertise, excellent reference from existing customers vouching for our quality, responsiveness, and trustworthiness. All our existing pharma, life science, manufacturing, social media, aviation, identity access management customers have renewed their contract, and the pharma life science customers are also discussing about multi-year agreement to enhance their implementation support services and to include additional systems leveraging our Cloud EC and Data EC platforms. Overall, our platform-based service offering like DRAS, Cloud EC, and Data EC continue to offer compelling proposition to our customers as we stay ahead of our competition through ongoing investments in product development and enhancements. Additionally, with investments in our own sales force and the partner network, we are in a very unique position to acquire new customers with our offerings, and that has been demonstrated this quarter. With cloud becoming a strategic, clients across industries are engaging with us to assist them in their digital transformation journey. On the people front, we closed with a total headcount of 590 and net addition of 38 over the last quarter. In Q1, we continue to invest in building the next generation workforce and training them in multiple new technologies. Our attrition is 15%, which is on par with the industry average. However, we are watching it very carefully as hiring picks up across the industry, and there's a strong demand for quality cloud-trained digital talent. That's about it from my side. So from an update perspective, I will now pass it on to Tyaga for his update.
Thank you, Ravi. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you and your families are doing well during the pandemic. Let me walk you through the Q1 financials. The revenue for the quarter was 90.3 crores. This was a 8.8% sequential growth over Q4 FY21. The year-on-year growth was 2.5%. I'm happy to share that all our verticals reported sequential growth, led by life science, which reported double-digit growth of nearly 11%. Healthcare growth was around 10%, and ICT reported 2.5% growth. This continues to impress on the backlog. We closed the quarter with a strong order backlog. The recurring revenues for the quarter came in at 36.9%, right? And this continues to grow sequentially, led by an uptick in life science business. Growth in recurring revenues is one of our main levers that will continue to aid in the overall margin improvement plan. The gross margins for the quarter came in at 26%. The margins were lower than last quarter, mainly due to the following reasons. One, it was due to a revenue mix impact, a higher share of low margin revenue. The second is higher subcontracting costs, and the third is salary revision, which was implemented from 1st April 2021. We hope and aim to offset the impact of this increase through a combination of operation programs like employee pyramid, automation, and productivity improvements. The overall cost for the quarter was higher, mainly due to the impact of investments or continued investments in sales and marketing and R&D, and the increments effective April. In addition to that, there was also an additional cost in the cloud hosting side. I'm happy to also share with you that the board in its meeting today approved the capital raising plan of 150 crores, approximately $20 million in Blockage Technologies, Inc., which is a 100% subsidiary of your company. Currently, the product is seeing good traction in the pharma and auto industries. Our plan is we take it to the shareholders in the ensuing AGM, which is on 30th of September. With that, I would like to open the call for questions. Over to you, Mr. Shah.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. We request all participants to restrict their questions to 2 at a time. If time permits, we will come back to you should you have any follow-up. We will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We have the first question from the line of Kranti Bhatini from Wealthmills Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi. Just want to know how the things are panning out at Secure Cloud. The numbers, if you see, the overall industry has been doing good, but your numbers are not that much encouraging. What is hindering you, and what is your future plans to revive these the growth prospects of the company? And what are the products are in pipeline? Could you just this question is for Mr. Suresh Venkatachari. What is your plans? There is an announcement of US listing also. How the things are panning out overall? But overall, when the digital space is doing well, cloud space is doing well, why your revenues are off late? What we are observing is the revenues have been stagnating.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. I'll be happy to answer. It's a very good question. We have invested in sales and marketing in the last 2 quarters substantially. So because of the pandemic, right, when you have a new sales and force, acquiring a new customer is a little bit of a longer duration than a regular sales cycle. Most of the people who are growing actually growing in the existing accounts. Getting a new accounts during the pandemic is relatively slow because as our salespeople could not able to meet the customer on face-to-face, and everything is over Zoom calls or a Microsoft Teams call. So that is the thing. But given said that, now things are relatively improving in the US, and that certain people are still back to work, and still there is a third wave is probably hitting in the US too. But most of them are vaccinated. The thing is, we are seeing the traction, and we are having a very, very healthy pipeline. Right now, the new salespeople we hired, each one carrying a very good sales pipeline, and we expect in the next 2 quarters to materialize a substantial growth in the business. And also, second, we are shifting from a one-time revenue to a more of a model. So when you're selling a platform like a SaaS model and other things, it takes a little bit of a more time. So we are currently having a good success happening in the DataEasy product, Readable.ai, where we're seeing a large significant interest. And even in the HIMSS in the next coming week, we are participating with AWS and presenting, and also in the CHIME, which is a medical professionals network for CIOs, we are presenting. We anticipate our businesses will start producing in the next 2 quarters, and overall the year and the coming years, we would be able to substantially accelerate our growth engine. On question on the listing on the NASDAQ, we have filed to SEC, and we have received twice comments, and we have responded. So we're waiting for the comment to be clear, and also in parallel we applied to NASDAQ also. So things are progressing very well. So we can't able to commit a specific timeline in terms of when the listing will be done, but it is going very encouraging and things are progressing in a very, very right way. As we move from confidential S1 filing into the regular S1 filing, everybody will be able to access that also in the NASDAQ. There are very lot of positive development happening, appointing a new independent board of directors in the subsidiary, Healthcare Triangle, with a very credible people, which will be announced shortly. And in terms of product line and platforms, we made some press announcement like a Cloud Easy and Data Easy is going into AWS Marketplace. And again, Readable.ai is going in Google Marketplace. So which will all help us more partner-led growth. Thanks. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you, and wish you all the best for the coming quarters, and expecting some kind of momentum in terms of your business is concerned from Secure Cloud. Of course, we have some improvement in terms of the corporate governance, in terms of regulatory filings, and hope this momentum will continue and it will reflect in the business numbers.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, if you have a question at this time, you may press star and 1 on your phone. The next question is in the line of Nandalal Padi, who's an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, my question is almost same. Actually, the IT industry and cloud business is doing well as the world has gone online, but it is not reflected in revenue or profit.
Okay, so I answered earlier. So you will see the revenue growth coming in the next few quarters. In terms of profit, the reason why is because we added a significant amount of salespeople in our company. So that is the reason. See, basically, we see a great opportunity which can able to speed our growth in the next sequential quarters. You will be able to see that, sir.
Sir, there is another thing. As businesses, you are telling it is in right track. I think intermittently we should be communicated what is taking place, so it will help everybody. Isn't it?
Sorry?
Every month some information to us and to the market. Things have started improving. It should be done.
Yeah. No, we will give. Suppose, see, we always give any partnership announcement, any major wins we will announce in the press actually, and go to the exchange, and we will continue to improve further as per your advice.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Minin Trivedi, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. I have one question. In the investor presentation, we see that the top 10 customer revenue increased to 74.4%, right? So though we initiated more logos, but our dependency on the existing customers are more. So ideally, when we add new logo, the graph should come down, right? We should have lesser dependency on the existing customers. Basically, the total revenue should be in the downward, but in the presentation it shows as a upward.
Okay, so Tyaga, you want to answer? I answer first.
Yeah, so it is a valid point. With the new logos that we acquired in the last 2 quarters, I think this quarter also we added nearly 7 new logos both in India and US, right? So the revenue will start kicking in from next quarter onwards, sir. So your point is valid. Yes, we have a tail list of customers, but the majority of the revenues come from the top 5-10 customers, right? It is a conscious call. I think Ravi also briefly articulated when he spoke that the expansion plan in Europe, in EME, Middle East and Japan is also aimed at reducing the dependency on some of the large customers that we have currently. Yes, the traction is we are seeing already on the ground, but it will start reflecting in the next couple of quarters, sir.
Okay, thank you. I have one more question. So this is with respect to the SEBI has directed a forensic audit for the Secure Cloud. So, and after that, there was a couple of interaction between SEBI and the company. So can you please update on that? Like, is it any observation from SEBI has been identified on that?
Okay, so this is you may be aware that this is a 2018 case pertaining to an observation made by Deloitte. The company appointed an independent firm to do the complete audit of the observations, and an independent report was submitted to the audit committee, which is also given to the SEBI, sir. So there have been some clarifications. They have come back to us on some more queries for which we've answered. As of now, there is no other progress. We will not be able to divulge anything beyond this, but it is on track. Make no mistake, we are taking every effort to make sure that this is closed at the earliest, sir.
Okay, thank you. One more last question. So this is about the announcement of investment in a subsidiary for product blockage. So that subsidiary will be based in India, or it will be US based?
It is a US-based subsidiary, sir. It is 100% owned by the Indian company. We've got an approval today morning from the board to raise up to $20 million. That's 150 crores, sir. I think I mentioned it earlier that we will be going to the shareholders for their approval on 39 when we have the AGM.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jignesh Desai, individual investor. Please go ahead. Jignesh, please go ahead with the question. We can't hear you. Mr. Desai, please go ahead. We cannot hear you. There seems to be no response. We move to the next question from the line of Rajesh, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. My question is basically on blockage. So, I see that I think you're piloting this blockage in a couple of customers. So, can you give us some idea on the number and the size of the deals? What would be a typical size of a deal of a blockage implementation, and how many of them do you foresee materializing in the near future?
Okay, so currently it's all in the very pilot stages. These opportunities typically a size, okay, right? There is a happening in the both pharma and automotive industry. So we anticipate this kind of a deal can initially bring in somewhere around 3 to 6 crores revenue, but it will be more of an annuity revenue coming in going forward. And we also joining in some of the consortiums right now. Currently blockage is marketed by only through Secure Cloud and Healthcare Triangle sales team. So the idea of Fundraise is also to have an individual sales team for blockage. Today our blockage has many aspects which can be used, right? It's built on our cloud foundation of the security layer, and it can able to put either an Ethereum or Hyperledger or even Coda. Coda is we are bringing Coda inside, but currently it supports both Ethereum and Hyperledger. So anybody who has an application which can able to immediately come into the blockchain network through our blockage. And also we have built a use case accelerator called Glue, so which can able to build very quickly a new application development in there. We are seeing attraction across in different verticals. We are even seeing opportunities in the land registry, government sector, even in the US government we are pursuing, and both also in India also we are pursuing some of the opportunities right now. But however, today is the technology has been already built, very solid technology foundation has been built. The sales and marketing which is needed to be invested, where we see another good growth, right? Our foundation can be used across any applications. So we anticipate with our dedicated sales force, our revenue could able to increase substantially. And our business model, what we are really looking at, right? It's not from a traditional software services kind of a business. It's more of a kind of a platform as a service business, so that it will be the value of the enterprise, which will be very significant.
Okay. Thank you for the detailed explanation. And I had one other question for the Healthcare Triangle listing on NASDAQ. So I don't know whether I missed it, but could you please give an idea of what would be the size? The size of the offering, and also is there some kind of guideline as to what would be the maximum amount of dilution of Secure Cloud holding in the Healthcare Triangle in the listed entity? Is there some minimum or maximum amount of dilution or holding after post the listing?
No, we are anticipating to raise around $25 million, but we do not know the exact dilution as the pricing has not been done. See, pricing you are not allowed to do until the SEC clears the comment actually, right? So our banker has seen and everything, so we do not know the valuation yet. So we do not know the dilution as of today. We will know in the next probably couple of months actually as we closer to the listing.
Okay, sure. I mean, not the exact amount, but from our or from your internal, from your from as a kind of guideline or as a limit, is there some minimum?
There is absolutely can't give. And as per the SEC also, you are not allowed to even make a valuation or pricing at this stage. Actually, you are not allowed actually.
Okay. Okay. So in theory, there is no limit on the extent of dilution which could happen. It could be substantial. It could be say 20 to 30% as well.
Yeah. So we do not know. I can't be able to comment. But our quantum of a fund, we decide to raise around $25 million. Even though we have a capacity to raise more money, but we want to have a lesser dilution at this stage actually. So that is our focus.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a reminder to the participants, if anyone who has a question at this time, you may press star and 1 on your phone. We have the next question from the line of Jignesh Desai, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Am I audible enough now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And hi, guys. My question again is on blockchain. I've got most of the gist from what we spoke in the last question. Two questions which I have is, if we have a platform as a service on blockchain, can we know the clients we have on board? Because now that we are looking at a kind of a skyrocket growth in blockchain, and while overall, if you see from the blockchain and cryptocurrency point of view, there are a lot of decentralized DApps and DeFi platforms who are in valuation in terms of starting $100 million to $500 million. So kind of clients we are pursuing and we have on board, one, for blockchain as a service, and two is if we have an advisory board, can we have the names or can we know them for blockchain particularly?
Okay, so let me answer your question one by one. The first one is actually we can't name a client because of the contract, but it is actually one of the very top 5 global pharma, which is see, I want to tell you this, right? The pharma industry is in a race to complete by end of next year, not by 23. There's something called track and trace by FDA, where they need to find out even each drug, what they dispense, when they get expiry date and everything, all those things. And they have adapted a blockchain as a technology. So we are working with one of the very leading pharma right now to implement. If that becomes a fully successful, then it opens up our door for even mid-sized pharma in a very large capacity, right? And our pharma infrastructure can be used for any dApps actually, but we are not in the cryptocurrency area, but anybody who builds this can able to utilize now, because see, the cryptocurrency is also getting more attraction. Even Walmart, we are hearing a lot of rumors that Walmart is going to accept, and many of the Amazon and other people are going to accept, right? Then everybody need to have a kind of a blockchain infrastructure to go. And what the blockchain, the capacity, right? A big, say, manufacturing, the potential I want to just highlight. Say a big pharma company which has, say, 25,000-30,000 suppliers and other network, where blockchain can able to, because all the small network players can't able to have their own infrastructure to do, whereas our blockchain can able to host and bring them into connect. So that could be a very high potential growth. So what we are focusing right now is on the consortiums. Consortiums is where, like, the big pharmas join and then they do the same thing. We are now joining into different pharmas, like in automotive consortiums. We are joining in a mobile consortium. So that different consortiums where we become a vendor partner there actually, so that every partner can able to leverage our technology to go. In terms of advisory network, in terms of advisory network blockchain, we are in the very early stage of seeking a very industry top professionals, including people from building like IBM blockchain and other things actually, doing it right now. But the current plan is our first announcement will come on the our advisory and board of directors for the healthcare triangle, which comes from the very industry top professionals you will be hearing very soon. Then the later part will be the blockchain, because blockchain is today, our focus is to make our platform accepted in a couple of big consortiums, so that will open up our road for a many number of customers. While you read the blockchain technology is adapting and everything, it is still, I wanted to give you a cautionary approach. It is still in the very, very early stage, but it will explode, because as many players are now started trusting this actually. So we are in the right opportunity space, but we have still a little road before we can see a huge traction. But our platform is as a platform as a service will bring a continuous SaaS revenue model for us, which will create a high value enterprise.
Yes, I think that was a pretty good explanation. This is what I wanted to hear. Seems pretty good and potential. The only thing which I would request and put forward is that while we look forward to the skyrocket growth in blockchain and blockage also, it would also be run through a complete like-minded team. That's where any given point in time, post HTI, if you can bring forth the team members and let us know, that would be great. I think it's a team effort which is required to get this on a hockey stick, because there is a lot and there is an immense potential. I would not say even a good growth. There is an immense potential the way blockchain is being adopted in the market across the globe, and most of the corporations. I think we are looking forward to anywhere 20 to 50x kind of adoption rate.
Yeah, you are right, Jignesh. Exactly. I think you have a very good knowledge, and I think that's what we are following. And we are also now participating in various events actually to get our product exposed also. So it will give a tremendous growth.
Yep. Yeah, looking forward. Yep.
One thing I wanted to add, Suresh, we are also discussing internally about fusing the Readable.ai and blockchain, the other product that we have, because that will become a very powerful story to go into the insurance sector and other paper-based industries.
Oh, that's an excellent point which you brought up. I think Readable.ai mix up with it's a combo of blockchain. You won't even any kind of industry which wants to be paperless and wants to go on cloud, and then can be accessible globally at any given point in time from just a click of a button. I think that's where you stand, because you already have clients on board. A lot of blockchains have built a platform but don't have a clients. You guys are sitting on clients. You have built a platform. You are from the day one you are on go in the market.
That's correct.
Yeah. Thank you. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Guys. Thank you so much. That's from me.
Thank you. This is the final reminder for the participants. If you have any questions or any further follow-up, request you to please press star and 1 at this time. As no further questions from the participants, I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Shah for his closing comments.
Thank you everyone for joining the conference for Secure Cloud Technologies Limited. If you have any queries, you can write us at firstofall@kirinadvisors.com. And once more, many thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining, everybody. Bye.
Thank you very much, members of the management. Ladies, with this we conclude the conference call. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.